One of the reasons why we love RVing is these guys right back here. We like that we can go wherever we want, we can stay on the road as long as we want, and we just bring our dogs with us. They're part of the family. But that does mean that sometimes we're going to be going out ourselves for restaurants, sightseeing, or whatever, and leaving them behind in the RV. If the weather's cool, that's not a problem, but what if it's a hot day like we're having here in Florida today, and we leave the air conditioner on to make sure that they're comfortable, but then the power goes out? Now, the dogs are getting hot. If only we could have a way to make sure that if the shore power goes off, the generator would come on. Well, we were at the Tampa RV show and met a guy who was selling this, the Alert Command automatic generator starting system. Well, after talking with the guy a little while and learning more about the product, we came to the conclusion that this might just be the answer to our problems. Something that makes us sure that we can have peace of mind knowing that our dogs are going to be safe and sound in the RV when we take a few hours away to do some things on our own. Well, as usual, I'm not sure whether this is going to be a how-to or a how-not-to video, and you get to come along as I try to install this device and then we test it. That's the way we do it here on Miles and Smiles. The Alert Command comes with some very specific wire connectors and a fuse. In addition to that, I've gotten some wire to connect it to the generator and to our generator transfer switch, some silicone to plug up any holes, and some flex tubing to cover the wires and keep them from rubbing against anything and causing a short while we're traveling down the road. I've decided to place the device right here in our bedroom next to our electrical panel, which also happens to be directly above our built-in generator. So I need to run wires from here, where I'm going to be mounting the device, in behind our electrical panel, down and through the floor to the generator. So that's my first big step. This is where the cables from our generator go up through the floor of the RV and behind our hamper. Now, I was hoping I'd be able to drill down from the top because there are some wires up there that I want to make sure I don't nick. Unfortunately, no matter how hard I try, it's a really, really tight space and I cannot get a drill back in there. So I'm going to have to come up from the bottom. My plan is to drill a pilot hole and then a larger hole that the wires can go up through. Here's hoping for the best. And now the 1-inch hole. Looks like all the wires are clear from where the pilot hole went through, and this will be just the right size for me to put a plastic collar that I got down through the hole so that the wires can be put through that. They won't chafe up against the wood, and actually I'm going to fill it in with silicone eventually. This next part may be the most difficult part of the job. I need to feed these wires that I have put into a plastic sheath to protect them. I need to feed them down behind the circuit breaker panel and underneath the hamper and out through the hole I just drilled. It's a little bit tight, as you can see, but I've gotten one wire down there, so I think I can probably get all of them. Okay, plan A is not working. On to plan B. Okay, what I have here is a single strand copper wire, so it is stiff. And I already know that I can get that to go down into that little wire chase. So I'm going to push this down and then pull the others up after that I'm attaching it to this. At least that's what I hope is going to happen. I probably should have done this at the same time, but I also have to get a piece of Romex cable down in the same spot. So hopefully this will be a little bit easier. So Here are the wires. Come down through the hole in the floor, out here, and ready to hook up. It's getting a little late in the day. I think I can get a little bit more done before sundown. The alert command comes with these cool little wire taps that will allow me to tap into the wires without having to cut them where I'm going to join with the generator. And it also comes with a great installation manual with pictures. So if you haven't gotten it from this video, I would not count on just what you've seen me do. Make sure if you buy one of these that you download the installation manual and either print it out or follow it carefully. It's pretty well written. Just give you a sense of what these are like. There's a little pin, and that screws down into this groove that you put the wire in, and the pin pierces the wire and makes a connection. Well, the instructions say just strip the leads and tighten. It does not say how far to strip the leads. So let's see. All right, so far I've done red to red and green to green. I've got blue and I've got white left. Well, it's a fresh new day, and I'm going to continue the wiring for our automatic generator starter. One of the things I need to do is get this wire attached to this post so it gets 12-volt power, and to the ground in here. I've already run the wire on this end, so I can get this taken care of. Will be done outside, and then the rest of the project will be in the bedroom. Okay, the hot's connected. Now I need to find a good place to do ground. That should pretty much do it for out here. Now I need to go inside, drill a hole or two, and get the box mounted and wire these into the transfer switch and into the generator start. I just want to jump in here and point out that my transfer switch is located in a very, very unusual place for most RVs. Most of the time, the transfer switch comes in right where the shore power enters the RV. It's mounted in an outer compartment, very easy to get to. So don't let my difficulty getting to my transfer switch deter you from doing this project. I want to show you the inside of this electrical box. The reason I have to take all of this apart is because there's a line from the transfer switch into the fuse panel, and it is very tight. There is absolutely no wiggle room whatsoever. So the only way I can get the transfer switch open is to slide it off of the circuit breaker panel. The only way I can slide it off of the circuit breaker panel is to disconnect the wire inside the circuit breaker panel. And in the process of that, the only way I can disconnect the wire inside the circuit breaker panel is to disconnect a whole lot of other wires along the way. This little gadget is actually pretty interesting. For those of us who have 30 amp RVs, you'll notice that the main power wire coming into the circuit breaker panel comes through this black box, and there's two wires going out the back. That actually connects to what's called an IntelliTech system, which switches power back and forth between the air conditioners, because you can't really run two air conditioners on 30 amps. So a lot that needs to come apart in order to put one thing together. So this is what it looks like inside the transfer switch. What I did was I brought in my two wires that are going to go to the alert command generator starter, brought them in here. I was trying to connect them to this side, which would seem natural, and this is the side that is labeled as to what goes to the generator, what goes to the shore, and so forth. But there's tiny little screws down in there, and I could not, for the life of me, get the ones open on that side. There are certain moments in every job that bring a lot of fear. In this case, the one that I think is the most crucial is I've got to drill a hole in our wall here. You can't undrill it, so I want to make sure I get it in the right place, but I've got to bring the wires out of there. So holding my breath, and here it goes. Alright, Alert Command has supplied these nice little connectors that go into their box, so let's make good use of them. You can see that what each of the connections is listed here on the Alert Command, and that will correspond to how this fits. So you have battery plus, battery minus, start, stop, run, generator, ground. I am going to do those in order, starting from right to left, so that I get everything in the right place. Generator ground, according to the notes that I took yesterday, is the white wire. And the last two lines will be the battery. I've got to feed that through. All right, I think it's all hooked up. I've reconnected to shore power. And before I button things up and clean up, I suppose I should test it. So the first thing, let's take a look at this. If I turn it on, it says that it's monitoring. We're on shore power, and it has shore power available, which is exactly what it should show right now. So then the next thing would be, what happens if we lose shore power? What should happen is it will prime the generator pump, and then start the generator and switch us over. So let's give it a shot. All right, it's time to test this. We are going to simulate a power failure. The only way I know to do that is just flip off the circuit breaker. When the circuit breaker goes off, the Alert Command should sense that there is no shore power and start the generator. Now, I know that this can take a while. It can take a minute, minute and a half, even 2 minutes before it does that. So we'll edit this so you don't have to stare at nothing for that entire time. But that's assuming that it works. So, power failure. Let's see if the generator starts. It's priming. What do you think, Kathy? And I know it's really loud.
Yes, I think that's just awesome.
Huh.
And the dogs will too.
Now that the generator is running, what happens when the power comes back on? It's supposed to sense that shore power has been restored. The power failure is over. So we're going to turn the electrical power back on and see how long it takes to shut off the generator.
That's a lot quicker than it came on.
It's been a few days since we finished this project, and I am feeling very, very happy about it. It's great when we've gone off a couple of times on hot days to know that even if the power went out here at the RV park, that our generator would turn on and that our air conditioners would come back on and that our dogs would be safe and sound in our absence. There's some options to this product. One of the things that you can do is subscribe to a service that will actually have it send you a text message whenever the Alert Command is activated. If your power goes off, you get a text message letting you know that the power has gone off, letting you know that the generator has started up again, and letting you know when power has been restored. This is a subscription. At the moment, it costs about $10 a month. And it's something that you can turn on and off whenever you want. You don't have to have it like a full year. You can subscribe for a month when you're traveling and then put it on hold when you get back home and not use it again until you're traveling again. There's an optional temperature sensor available which can alert you when the temperature is too high or too low in your RV. And I hear that this summer there's going to be an upgraded version of the alert command which will allow it to turn on the generator if the temperature gets too high when you are dry camping. How difficult would I rate this project? For my rig, I would have rated it about 7 out of 10 in range of difficulty. But that's primarily because of the unusual transfer switch that we have, which is mounted on the back of our circuit breaker panel. As I said earlier, usually those are located in a compartment right where the power goes into the RV, easily accessible, and that would make this maybe a 3 or a 4 in range of difficulty as a job. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up down below. Better yet, subscribe. And I'd love to hear how your installation went if you went and got an alert command for yourself. So please leave some comments. Down below, you will find a link. You can go directly to the alert command webpage from there and see if this is something that will help you out, especially if you have pets that you travel with the way that we do. And remember, life's a journey. Make every mile count. Doctor.